Hey, what is it, bro? So, aka Aethel. Let's cut to the point here. Let's cut to the chase. I freaking love video games. I love video games. It is like my go-to thing to do with my free time. I love making videos on games. I love talking about games. I love living out this YouTube dream of making YouTube videos while talking about video games. And my channel's doing great. My channel is doing really well. And while there's a little part of me that's worried that if I mix up the formula and change up what I'm doing here, my videos just won't do as well. At the same time, this is better than just not making videos, period. In this October of last year, I'm just now making a video on it. Baldur's Gate 3, Part 1 review. I didn't even beat the game yet, but I feel qualified to want to make a review. I don't really think there's going to be many games I'm going to do this with, but this game I played for over 60 hours, and I got pretty burnt out. I loved every part of it. I loved every little aspect of it, but by the time I finished the 60 hours, I'd already restarted the game 3 times prior, and I was going to do it a 4th time after 60 hours, and that's why I was like, okay, I need to stop. We're just gonna have to try this again next time and fully commit to the decisions that I make, because that is what makes this game so freaking amazing. It's so good. It did, no doubt, there's no surprise that it won all the awards that it won, but as me, I would like to consider an RPG connoisseur. What made this game so great? What made it stand out amongst other games? And why am I so excited to get back to it when the time is right? Now, to give a little bit of background of the type of games I've played. So I've played Divinity, Original Sin, the first one and the second one a little bit, like a couple hours of each of them. And I really liked them. And because that game I could play a co-op and multiplayer, I was like, these are some gems that I'm gonna wait to play with the right person, whether it be with with one of my best friends, with like one of my bros, or with a potential future partner. There's so many video games out there in the world, so many amazing single player games, and so many great multiplayer games that I have some on my list of games that I'm just like, I'm gonna get back to this game and I'm gonna play it with someone because it's so good. There's so many other single player games I can play. There's not that many deep immersive co-op multiplayer games that I have on my back burner that I want to experience the first time with someone new. And I put those games in that area of like, these are amazing games, rather than me playing through it once myself. I want to wait to play it with either a best friend or, again, a potential wife. My potential wife. So I've had a little bit of experience playing these games before, and I didn't put Baldur's Gate 3 in that category because even though I realized that I could co-op it and that out of all the other games, this one would be one of the most immersive, best games to co-op with, I didn't have anyone to co-op with, and I was really in the mood to play a game like Baldur's Gate, like a strategy, slower paced, deep immersive RPG with a bunch of different decisions that looks really pretty and has amazing music. And I kind of bust through that thing that I have. I don't know if like you guys have this, where like I feel sometimes the need that I have to play like all the previous games from that same company or developer, or at least some of them that kind of go within the main series for me to appreciate the later games. With this one, I said, screw it, I'm not doing it. This game looks amazing. I'm in the mood for it. So even though I haven't really played Divinity 1 or 2, this is its own complete separate thing, and it was so good. I got sucked in. I got immersed. I've always been fascinated and loved the idea of D&D, but I've yet to ever play a campaign for myself. I've started campaigns a couple times with people, but I've never committed to one, so I can't really say I've ever really played D&D. And Baldur's Gate 3 is probably the closest I've ever come to playing D&D, and my goodness, is it fun? It's such a great gaming experience, and getting a vibe as to what a D&D game could feel like. But my goodness, this game is gorgeous. The characters, each so in depth, and there's just so much that I feel like I could learn. And all of them, there's so many. There's so many characters, and they're all so deep. And I kind of feel like I have to do multiple playthroughs because I have to be really selective of the people who I want to kind of have on my team. And not so much the fact that you can kind of create your own characters that you can kind of have on the team. Like, dude, that's why this game is just so replayable. Because I kind of want to do a playthrough with like 3 of the main characters and just have them on my team along with the main character, and just do a playthrough with them, and then have a new game where I have like a completely different party, and then have another game where like I just create all the different characters rather than them being characters that are already in the story. And just like there's just so many options, man. There's just so many options to this game, and there's just so many little things to explore and so many little things to do and so many different ways to tackle different scenarios in this game. And I think that was the beauty, and that's why like I spent like the first 15 hours of my first playthrough in like the first opening area, and then when I new gamed it, I spent the same amount of time not just redoing things that I had done in my first playthrough, but then also discovering new things in that same area that I hadn't discovered the first time. But I do want to just highlight the 60 hours that I had in that game and in that world, and how immersive they were and how easy it was to just get sucked into that game. I feel like the older I get, sometimes the harder it is for me to really find a game that sucks me in and just makes me want to just play it and play it and play it and binge it. And I am very happy to say that Baldur's Gate 3 was exactly that. The gameplay can be kind of different, with it being like strategy, a little bit kind of like turn-based. I know that's not for everyone, but man, like just how in-depth you can get with customizing your character and all of the characters that come in the game, all of the stats, all of the classes, the relationships that you can have in between all the characters. Each combat scenario can be so different. It's just such a good game. And I do know that it's not like an action RPG that you just kind of hop in and it's all action, all, you know, kind of like instant gratification, hit, attack, roll, slash, experience, level up. It's more of a little bit more of a slow burn. But if you appreciate games like Persona, or anything that's like an RPG that's a little bit slower paced, turn-based, if you're into turn-based, I think there's a chance if you give this game a shot and take the time to learn how the gameplay works, you will fall in love with it. Let's say you play something like Skyrim, the gameplay is not similar at all, but it has aspects of Skyrim. There's aspects of Skyrim in this game, you know, just being able to explore this world with all these different characters and just getting so immersed and creating your own adventure. There's just a lot you can do with this game. So if you haven't given it a shot and you are an RPG lover, and again it's 2024, this game came out last year, you have to give it a shot. It is so good. And I always encourage people to do that. I always encourage people to kind of venture off into different areas of gaming. You know, like I feel like it makes sense, and it can be so easy to just kind of stay within your comfort zone. At some point in the past, you might have thought like, oh, I've tried a game like that before. I don't think I'm gonna like it. Never close yourself out like that, especially with video games. It's kind of like a movie. It's kind of like watching one horror movie or watching one action movie and then just being like, oh, those movies are just not for me. There's just so many different elements that go into each movie and each game or each show, even, that like to say I've played this type of game once and I just know this genre is not for me. Just always be open to it. Just always be open to it, because I think Baldur's Gate 3, it's one of those games that even if you absolutely like, maybe you're not that much into the gameplay, all the other aspects of this game will probably make you fall in love and really appreciate what it is. Because I know I have games like that where like the gameplay might not be my favorite component, but the story is so good, or the story's not all that great but the gameplay is so good. So this just happens to be one of those games where I had to adjust and adapt to learn how the combat works and how the game works, for me to appreciate it even more. But I liked it right off rip. Even though the combat was initially kind of weird to me, once I understood it and I learned how to mess with it and kind of add my own twang to it, I was like, okay, no, I understand it, and it's actually a lot of fun. So be open to it. I'm planning on just knocking out a bunch of videos like this and just focusing on making content that makes me happy and that I want to do. And these kind of game videos where I just talk about the video game itself and what I thought. These videos are easy to make, they're fun for me to make, and they're fun for me to edit. And even just, at some point I am going to go back to the green screen, but for now, just I want to get these videos out there because I'm still playing games and I don't want to feel like I'm falling behind. I'm like commenting on the games, and I want to honestly kind of branch out and even just talk about like shows and anime, because that's also been an aspect of my life. I'm like, I could incorporate that into my channel. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. We're getting there. We're getting to that 1K mark. So if you guys are enjoying these videos, please like, please subscribe. And yeah, welcome to Wolfpack, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace.